Okay, so apparently the sound didn't work for any of this stuff. I'm trying, I don't know why it's not. It said it was. But anyway, this is number 7, where what we do is the first number where you plug in 1,000, then you plug in 10,000. If you see, follow my path there. The first one you got 34,000, the second one you got 205,000. Then as far as part B goes, it says what do those numbers mean? Those numbers mean, first of all, that if I sell 1,000 books, it's going to cost me $34,000 to do. And if I sell 10,000 books or make 10,000 books, it's going to cost me 205,000. Then part C said what happens if you plug in 0. You get 5,000, and what does that mean? That's the initial cost. So if I were to take and set up anything, it would be $5,000 just for the setup fees. Then the last part of number 7, it says find the net change and the average rate of change. And so the top part of that fraction there where it says 205,000 minus 34,000, 171,000, that's the net change. And then the average rate of change is I divide it by the difference in the numbers that you plugged in, and I get 19. And what that stands for, the average, it would be your book cost, or book, like on average it costs $19 to make. Okay, that's number 7. Then the next one, I know it's kind of a jumbled mess there, but what it asks you to do is it asks you to take the problem and evaluate all those numbers. So I plugged in 0, I got out 6, I plugged in 2, I got out 2, negative 2, I got out 18, A and negative A. And then the one that many people mess up a little bit is that x plus 1. Remember when you're plugging those in, especially this part right here that is, I'm going to use the highlighter here. Don't forget, that means that you have to write that down twice and FOIL it. And the next part, you distribute and then just combine like terms. On the last one, the biggest one is right here, this squared with the 2x, because that squared needs to go to both pieces. And what most people forget is they forget to do it to the front 2, so they only put 2x squared there instead of 4x squared, if that makes sense. Then the last one in this video, it's asking us to, and this is the one where it gives you the picture and you have to find all the different pieces. And so on the x coordinate, or on the first one, it says find f of negative 2, which means I go back negative 2 spaces and I find the y coordinate to evaluate it, which was at negative 1. So the answer for that first one would be negative 1. The second one, when it says f of 2, you go over 2 to the right, whereas the y coordinate is up 2, and that's how you'd find that one. Then I'm not sure which order it went in again, but the net change for those would be when I plug those in, I got out 2 and I got out negative 1. So the first or second answer 2 minus the first answer, which is negative 1, gives me 3. And then the average rate of change, I take that again, divided by what I put in, and I get 3/4. The domain for this one and the range, the domain is a little bit different and the range is different just because this does not go on forever. It does not have arrows. So that's why it has brackets, because it equaled those. And so the domain, remember, goes from left to right, and it goes from negative 4 all the way to positive 5. And the range goes from the bottom up, and it's negative 4 to positive 4. Then as far as the increasing and decreasing goes, what I did was I found all the x coordinates, remember? And it started at negative 4. It worked its way up to negative 2. And then from negative 2 down to negative 1, it just took a little jog down. And then from -1 to +4, it was up. And then from +4 down to 5 was decreasing. And then the last one, I believe it said, is this 1-to-1? Again, all those vertical lines would be if it was asking if it was a function or not. But 1-to-1 would be if you have any horizontal line that hits it more than one time. And that's what this is showing right there. It hits it more than once. So that's why that was a no. Okay? So those are questions, the first 3 questions from your review.